All right. Good morning, Freedom Team. Hope everybody had an awesome weekend. We're getting ready to head into the fourth quarter here in less than 30 days. And when it comes to revenue share, for those that may not be familiar, usually the last quarter is when everybody starts moving. Most agents want to be set up and at their new brokerage by January 1st. So a great time here in September to continue to plant those seeds, make the calls, reach out to agents, and a lot of them are going to start moving here in the next few months. So great time to do this. Couple of housekeeping right now. Man, I hope if you are not signed up right now for our big conference in Miami, man, I highly advise you to do that. If you have never been, guys, it's so easy to justify. I always tell everybody when you get there, even outside of the different events that they're having and presentations, man, just lunch, breaks, dinner, all this stuff. Man, introduce yourself to 10 or 15 agents, create some relationships, get referral partners. I mean, guys, if you just come back and got one referral or from what you learned, came back and did one extra transaction, it easily pays for it. All that's going to happen. The content you're going to get is amazing. So I hope and pray for those who have not booked a ticket, make it happen. You deserve it to kick off, obviously, the end of the year, and I think it'll blow you up into 2025. But let's get started here with Mr. Christian. Let me give you guys a quick little bio on this gentleman. So Christian, as a realtor associate with eXp Realty, Christian leverages over 15 years of experience and expertise in Monmouth and Ocean Counties region. Because of his proven track record of success, Christian enjoys a 5-star rating with Zillow with over 700 million in transactions and numerous awards for performance excellence in the industry. He is consistently ranked in the top 20 out of 13,000 agents in, I hope I'm saying it right, Monmouth and Ocean
Yeah,
County.
yeah, Monmouth and Ocean County. Yep.
Okay, cool. Christian also built a professional career on Wall Street on the floor of the American and New York Stock Exchange over the last 15 years. He's a devoted family man, loves spending time with his wife, his 3 wonderful kids. He also is a proud parent of his fur baby, I guess Chloe, the boxer, and enjoys sports, golf, and the local beach life. So Christian, sound like a fun dude, man. We're gonna have some fun here, Christian. We're so
Cool.
excited to spend some time with you,
Yeah.
figure out what you're doing. If you wouldn't mind to kick it off before I start asking a few other questions, I didn't get a chance to look up what is your total, if you don't mind sharing your total team count and FLQAs. How are you doing right now?
So my team count is, so I've been at EXP for 3 years. Actually, May was just 3 years, so a little over 3 years.
Okay.
I had a Remax franchise prior and then came over to EXP with about 60 agents now. We've doubled that. We have about 120 agents. But I also have a group. So the name of my team is the Real Estate Leaders. And then I have 2 partners, one in Southern Jersey, one in kind of western part of New Jersey. And we
Okay.
started a group called Leaders Edge Network. So my group is 120. Collectively, we have 500. We kind of do some stuff with our rev share there. My FLQA, I think, is at 20. It was at 22, 23. Some people fall off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
the FLQA count is a little lower than I want, but that's a lot harder to get to than you think. You know what I mean? Because when you have agents recruiting for you and stuff like that. So,
No doubt.
but it's been great. Yeah, it's been good. We do a lot of volume. We're the #1 ranked team in Jersey for EXP. I think we're in the top 15 for all of EXP.
Dude, that is awesome, bro. Well, congrats. So you came over 3 years ago. So why don't we start off right now? How were you guys approached, and what was the main reason for the transition over here?
So we had 3 Remax offices, and the way Remax works is there when you're recruiting agents, it's based on volume and it's a franchise. So,
Yeah.
but what I found over time was that the more money I made, the more money I paid them. So it really wasn't, I can 20 times my business in a year, but I'm not going to see that in form of revenue. So it really didn't make sense. So I started saying to myself, there's got to be a better way. And then I needed an exit strategy, right? So I'm also a producing owner. I do a lot of business myself. So Douglas Elliman at the time, this was in 2020, Douglas Elliman has a huge presence in Manhattan, which is 60 miles north of here, but no suburb presence. So during the pandemic, they were struggling. Everybody was moving out of the city coming here. So Howard Lorber, the CEO of Douglas Elliman, reached out to me and wanted to collaborate. So went into the city. Long story short, he offered to buy us, and I said, the number was good. The number was okay, actually. It was a couple $1,000,000. It was nothing crazy, but I was like, there's no. And then I would stay on and run all of New Jersey for him for the next 5 years. Well, didn't really make sense for me or my agents, so. Then I got introduced to a guy that was from Jersey that was now in California, Joe Oz. He's with EXP. I don't know if you guys know him. He's got a pretty big presence, tattoos, like cool guy. I started talking to him, and he recruited us over. So my partner that had 2 other Remax offices, he came over first. He had no franchise agreement. It was up with Remax. He came over in April of 21. Then myself, I came over with my agents, and then my other partner came over with his agents in June. So the 3 of us kind of came over. We each have our own separate entities, but we kind of pool our rev share, and we kind of make So now we've grown that from came over about 180 agents to about 500 now, 500 plus now, and it's been working out great.
Yeah, all in 3 years. That's pretty awesome, man. So let's go
Yeah.
back to the gentleman in California that first approached you guys. Did you guys have a relationship with him, did you say?
Yeah, he used to live in Jersey.
Okay.
He actually worked for Remax, then went to Keller Williams, and then he moved out to California. And I called him and I was like, "What's going on with Because back in 2018, I looked into EXP.
Okay.
Should have done it. Obviously, hindsight's 2020, right? But I was like, I don't know the whole model. And our Remax office was not big from a numbers perspective, but big from a volume perspective. We did a lot of volume. So I was like, I'm not really ready yet. And then when I realized as I was growing my Remax team, how I really wasn't getting anywhere financially. And then I'm saying to myself, because my goal was with the Remax was, hey, listen, let me build this company up. I get to the point where I offset my income where I don't have to sell anymore. I'm 53. I don't really want to be selling real estate when I'm 60, right? I kind of that my goal is to be done and have some type of income coming in, residual income. But I realized that there's no way I was going to get there with Remax just because it didn't have the model to do it. The more money I made, the more money I gave them. So I really have to ramp it up. And then it was harder to keep the agents under their platform. So that's when I decided, look, I have to make a move. I own a title company as well. So I wanted to kind of like do everything. So EXP was the best model for it. Here we are. So
Love it. So you've got 500 now. So when you guys first looked at the model, was the revenue share the main thing that brought you over, or what else, as you looked at this umbrella of all the services we have, what else really enticed you guys to come together and move over?
I mean, really, it was everything that we could offer our agents, because one of the reasons why I didn't go to Douglas Elliman was, look, Douglas Elliman, I could have gotten a good check up front for myself and then got paid really well to run the whole program for the whole organization for them in Jersey. But putting my agents on the 75-25 or 70-30 split wasn't going to work, right? They were on higher splits with me at Remax. They capped out. So agent retention for me was key, because if I can't retain my agents, I couldn't build, right? So they were able to offer a good cap system for us. We're considered a mega icon team, so we were able to give them structure really good deals for them. So I've lost 2 agents in the 3.5 years that I'm here, and we've grown from 65 to 120. So it worked out because, and now I felt like if the agents are going to be walking billboards for me, right? I mean, if they love it, everybody else, is going to be like, what the heck is going on over there? And they'll kind of help recruit. So
That
we
was
had
gonna be
some
my
strategy.
question. So first of all, only losing 2 agents, holy smoke, in 3 years, that's
Mhm.
incredible. You guys are doing something
Yeah.
magical
Yeah.
for production. That was the first question I was going to ask. So your team that's on board, compared to the 3 of you, what is the rest of the team? How much have they contributed to your growth of these 500 agents?
So I believe, like this year, I don't know where we're at this year. We're probably at a little over 200 million or whatever. And then my other team, my 2 other partners, one is at like 70 and the other one's at maybe 50, 60. So collectively we do pretty good business, but it's our whole internal organization that we have, like, because my one partner came over first. So the way we do the rev share is, if my one partner gets 15,000 a month, he's above me. And then I get 10,000 a month, and then the other guy gets 5,000. I'm just making up numbers, right? That's $30,000 that we get in a month in rev share. We put it all into a company that we started.
Yeah.
We put that $30,000 in there. We keep 20% of it, $6,000 in the company for operating expenses. Then we take the 24 and evenly distribute it, 8,000 each. And that's just the way we're building our company, because it's,
Yeah.
I feel like, I'm in the process now of recruiting somebody from Keller Williams, a big team. And the reason why they like us over, like, say, a competitor, or I don't even want to call it a competitor, but say someone like Real, is because we have a huge presence in New Jersey, right? So between myself and our other partners, they want to be part of that, right? So we're able to expand all across New Jersey, and obviously you can recruit from anywhere, but I have my own office. My other partners have their own office as well, so it works out.
Gotcha. So I think what a lot of us would probably love to know is, you've been over here 3 years, what did you do to first kick things off to start growing? Were you reaching out to other relationships, other independent brokers? How did you begin this growth when you first came over?
So originally the mindset was, so again, with Remax, when I recruited people from Remax, you really had to recruit on a volume base. Like, I would never take a new agent brand new out of the box, just because it cost me money to keep them, then the training and all that stuff, it wasn't worth it. So we recruited based on volume. Here, what I've learned, what I did in the beginning and what I'm doing now is two different things. But in the beginning, because we had a big presence, I have a big name in Monmouth and Ocean County and around here. When we did make the move, everybody, it was kind of like that tidal wave. Everybody's like, what the hell is going on over there? What is he doing? Like, why? Because we were a big office, and like, why is he doing that? So the phones just started to ring for me, right? So I started, like, recruiting, agents here and there, one-offs. But over the last, like, 6, 7 months, I feel like going, especially after this whole NAR stuff came about and the way EXP handled it, I felt like it's much better for me to start recruiting small offices, mom and pop offices, stuff like that, because they were left in the dark. Like, I just met with a 30-person organization. She's probably my age, the owner. She's got 30 agents, and she's like, as far as this whole NAR stuff, she's like, it was a nightmare. She's like, we were kind of like left in the dark, and where we had Leo and EXP kind of like really spearheading things for us, they didn't know anything. So recruiting now, I'm recruiting teams or organizations versus the one-offs. But I got to tell you, I have agents in my office that, I have one girl in my office that probably recruited like 7 or 8 people, just because she's got friends and whatever. And she's getting a rev share check of, I don't know, $600 a month every month. It's around there. And, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a car payment. And she's like, she loves it. She's like on a mission to recruit. It's like supplemental income for her. The stock program is really, really awesome. People that don't even know anything about stocks, it just found money. I have an agent that asked me how to sign in. She's never been in her stock account 3.5 years. She's been here, and she's like a $5-6 million a year producer. Nothing crazy, but she had like $24,000 or $26,000 in there. She had no idea how much it was. She was like, "Holy crap! I can take this out now." So there's just different ways to earn money, and look, like I said, for me, it's an exit strategy. I don't want to sell real estate forever. I need to have some supplemental income coming in.
No doubt. Yeah, and hopefully you guys all gathered that. I know everybody on here, it seems like you're familiar faces, everybody. Dion, hadn't seen you a ton, but the biggest thing he said right there, make sure everybody paid attention. And a lot of folks do that when they first come over. You start feeling like you're going to recruit anybody. But if you're going to build rev share, spend time, it's almost just as hard to recruit a newbie as it is somebody doing 3, 4, 5 million. So if you're going to build rev share, there's all kinds of ways to look up and make sure people are doing 3 million or greater and make that your focus. But hey, let's go a little bit of other Q&A. Kelly in here just threw out a question in the chat. Christian, when offered a couple million by Douglas, how did you and your partners justify moving to EXP? What was your thinking and mindset?
So the money that was offered was actually offered to me for the real estate leaders for my company, and it just wasn't. Again, I felt like, getting that money up front. Not that $2 million isn't a lot of money, right? But I felt like, what am I going to do with that? You know what I mean? Like, what at the time, I'm 50 years old. $2 million is not going to do really too much for me. And then the longevity of things, there was no way I would be able to retain my agents. It just wasn't going to work. We're in an environment here in my county and in New Jersey where people are always poaching other agents, and putting them on a 70-30 split just didn't work. It just wasn't going to work. And my job was going to be a lot harder. So, and again, I looked at it, okay, a couple $1 million up front, getting paid really good money to run the company in Jersey for 5 years. But then again, now I'm 55, really, where's my exit strategy coming from? Right.
Yeah.
So it just, the long-term plan didn't work out. Right. So this EXP's model, especially after I talked to a few people, guys like Jay Kinder, Kyle Whistle, Dan Beer, I had meetings with them, Chuck Fazio, like they were influential in me coming over.
Gotcha.
And after speaking to those guys, I was like, this is like I felt back then that within 5 to 7 years that everybody be at EXP. I do think like, the mom and pop, like the Caldwell Bankers of the world and the Weikerts of the world, they're a dying breed. They're not going to be around. And if you're a real estate agent, I tell my agents, their main thing was, I'm not a recruiter. I'm not a recruiter. I said, look, you don't have to be a recruiter. You deal with real estate agents every day. If somebody asks you a question, you like working with somebody, just give them my name and let me talk to them. I'll recruit them for you. I'll put them underneath you. Like, you don't have to recruit them. All you have to do is just give them to me, and then I'll take care of it. Right. And listen, it works out. I mean, a lot of people still are like, when people weren't doing that much business, if they were a little slow, and I said to them, look, I had a whole seminar on how to recruit, or how to at least make the conversation, because if your business is down a little bit, but then all of a sudden you realize you recruited 12 people in the last year and you're getting $800 a month, that $800 a month on your business still is pretty good. You know what I mean? Because now that comes in like clockwork every single month, so you have a different way to build business.
So let me ask you this: when you're calling, because it sounds like obviously you're now focusing on teams, independent brokerages, and so forth. Could you mind kind of sharing how that approach is for you? I know you've got a strong background, big presence and stuff, but what does that conversation look like if you reach out to an independent broker?
Well, I mean, this time of year, this within the last 2 months or so has been a little bit easier, just because of the whole NAR thing, right?
Yeah.
So I reach out, I try to get a list. My office admin will give me a list of all the brokerages around, and I'll just put them on like a little bit of a tag. So we had a big seminar here, I guess it was about a month and a half ago, and it was everything related to the NAR. So it was me, my other two partners, Joe Osborne from California. We had a bunch of guys on a panel, and we went over all the forms, all the stuff. And we had about, I don't know, maybe 300 people there. And we went over everything. And they were all from different brokerages too. It was open up to everybody. So
Okay.
after that seminar, people were like, geez, man, you guys really know your stuff. Like, so then I started hitting those brokerages, some of those brokerages, and saying, look, it's a cup of coffee. Let's sit down and talk. I just, you guys have to be struggling with this whole NAR thing and all that stuff. Let me show you how you can kind of sit back and take all of the responsibilities off of your plate, right? Let EXP handle everything. And then you just run and build your team, because they're hard. It's hard for these agencies to build, unless, you're getting somebody, the older generation, 60, 70-year-old people, they're not leaving, right? They're like, I love my broker or whatever. But the other people that are young-minded, that are doing 4 or 5 million a year, that want to get to 10 million a year, they realize they got to be somewhere else. They're not going to stay with Weichert or ABC Realty or whatever. They're going to leave. So I just think now is the time. I mean, and look, as long as I can get them for a 15-minute call, then I just do it from there. And it's not as easy as you think. It's actually very hard to get someone to switch, because they're like, really, what? But the last two, like I said, I'm on with one now from Keller Williams. His team does about 135 deals a year, 80 million in production, and the other is a 30-person brokerage that I'm looking at. And I use the growth team from EXP, and they're helping me get these guys set up, plugging in their numbers and all that stuff. And it's working out pretty well so far. I mean, they're not over yet, but God willing, they will be.
Yeah. That's I'll let you ask here in a minute, Kelly. That's what I've noticed also with all these teams and stuff. Any team, any independent broker, if you can create the interest, get them at least to take a look, and they're interested, man, you can pull Leo, pull the growth team guys. They all our whole company wants to bring the
Well,
entire,
everybody's incentivized, right? So when I
yeah,
look at my
everybody,
upline,
absolutely.
right? I have Mary Mahoney. I talk to her all the time. I talk to Tammy Pack. I talk to Tina Call, Kyle Whistle. Like all these guys, all these people are in my upline.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
call any one of them. Obviously, they have incentives to help me, right? Because
yeah,
the bigger I grow, the bigger they grow, right? Which is a great thing with EXP. I just think it's everybody, and that's landing some of these teams and stuff like that when they, especially since I did it, I moved the whole brokerage. I wasn't an agent that just came from Remax EXP. I moved the whole brokerage. So when they hear my story and kind of where I'm at now, they're like, "Wow, it's pretty impressive." And like I said, my goal is by the time I'm 55, I don't know if I'll get there or not as far as my goal, but it's 2,000 agents I really wanted to have. So we're at 500 in our group. I want to have 2,000 in the next 2 years, and that'll really ramp up our rev share a lot, which would be really great.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kelly, go ahead. I know Kelly, you got a question.
Yeah, and it relates back, Christian, to your approach as a broker owner, seeing the fact that retention was going to get difficult under the Douglas model, under the Remax model, and you elected EXP, which kind of puts you back at ground zero a little bit to rebuild. Tell me what you see as a broker owner as the key differences inside EXP that allow you to hold on to retention and hold on and build agents.
It's really so a lot of it. I don't want to say a lot of it doesn't have to do with EXP. A lot of it has to do with EXP. A lot of it has to do with me, though, right? I mean, you can be backed. I mean, you can have the best steakhouse in the world, and if you go in there and the service sucks, you're probably like, what? There's a million other steaks. I'm going to go somewhere else, right? So for me, I run a really tight ship. I have a very good reputation out there, so people, I'm fully transparent, right? So people do want to work for me, and when I do get them in the room and I talk to them, they like what I have to say. As far as the EXP side goes, that's the other selling point, right? Their splits are great, right? They have a cap system. There's no monthly fees. I mean, the monthly fee is $85 a month, right? It is what it is. There's nothing. What else is there? Where else are you going? And that $85 a month gets you so much. And then you have your, insurance transaction fees. But if I tell somebody, listen, you do 15 deals a year, your fees are going to be about $2,000 for the year, and I'm going to put you on a $4,000 cap 90/10 or $16,000 cap 95/5, whatever it is. That's aggressive. Like that's really good. I have full-time transaction coordinators that help my agents, and they're not. First of all, they're not going to get better splits anywhere. But then the service that we provide with them, they're not going to get it better. I mean, because that's one of the things that I pride ourselves in. We leverage EXP and their expertise, and then we kind of just service the agents, right? Because that's really what they need,
Yeah. Yeah. When you have a large group like that and you can offer that $4,000 cap, that's
It's
just
great.
all.
Yeah, it's great. And look, at the end of the day, it's like people are like, even my office admin, when I first hired her, a couple of years ago, she's like, I can't believe what you give your agents. Like, but my whole goal was, look, if I can get them over here for that $4,000 cap 90/10, yeah, I make 10% off of them. However, it's all about the rev share. I'm looking at the big numbers, right? And I can keep them. Look, you can go somewhere and get paid 100%. If you're not getting anybody to help you grow your business, the key is that I tell people, look, you're surrounded by all great agents here, right? So if you want to go from doing 5 million to 10 million, this is where you should be. You know what I mean? Like this is where we're going to help you grow. You're not going to be the biggest fish in the pond here. They're doing 6-7 million at their brokerage. They might be the biggest agent in their brokerage. You come over here, you're just a dime a dozen. I have 15 people that are doing that, right? Some of my agents are doing 50, 60 million, 40 million, whatever. So you want to be in a position where you're going to, be motivated to grow, at first I got kicked back. Like everyone's like, what is EXP? Like, what is it? Like, I've never heard of it, but I was like, who cares? Like, what does it matter? It doesn't really matter. Because if I call 100 of my clients right now and I ask them, who does Christian work for? Who do I work for? They have no clue. 95 of them that are going to have no clue if I work for EXP, Remax. They just don't have any clue. So I go on listing appointments, and that's what I train my agents. When you're going on a listing appointment, you need to focus on you, not EXP. put some little EXP stuff in the folder and leave it to them, if they want to read about EXP, the biggest brokerage in the world, blah, blah, blah. But you're there to sell you, right? Because they're not hiring EXP, they're hiring you, right? I mean, that's the bottom line. So that was the only kickback at first. But again, everybody's, likes it,
Yeah. Yeah. Makes complete sense. All right, guys, open it up for anybody. Anybody got any questions at all for Christian? I know this is a different kind of approach. He's come over as a pretty good sized brokerage, he and his partners, a little different than our normal interview, but this is mesmerizing because a lot of us, as you start to, and Scott, I know you're starting to talk to independent brokerages and teams. So, man, this is a guy just to, man, ask some questions and anything that can help for those that are now starting to branch out beyond single agents to teams, independent brokerage and stuff. Man, this is the guy to have a conversation with. So anybody got questions for him towards what he's been doing? Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, for me, I have two brokers that are looking at how to change. There's multiple family members with licenses, and like one's moving a property management company. And how do you just stay with them through the process to get them across the line with unusual things like that?
So, I mean, again, that's where EXP is great. You got to leverage the relationships within EXP. You got to get on the phone with the growth team. Frank Panuno, I think it is. He's the vice president of growth. He's pretty influential on people. Look, at the end of the day, it's, if you're happy there, you're going to explain. I go on these recruiting appointments and I don't talk about anything I don't know. I talk about me and how it is. And I'm very, like I said, I'm very transparent. I'm like, look, when I first came over here in 2021, it was a complete shit show. It wasn't easy. It was a pain in the ass. We had 65 agents. Like everything was kind of like a mess. At that time, EXP was in a big growth phase, right? But now since then, they have like a whole onboarding team. They have everybody that can make their life so much easier. And I have a recruiting packet that actually I will text you right now. Did I send you my recruiting packet, Sean?
No.
Right, so I'm going to send you my
go in the
recruiting
chat, or
packet
you would
that I have.
is it easier to email it to me, or can it go in the chat?
Well, it's on my phone. Let me just see if I can just.
No, that'd be awesome, man. We'd appreciate it. Yeah, we've got
what's your number, Sean? The
214-738-1155.
Okay. Just hold on. What does it say it again? 214? Okay.
214-738-1155.
Got it. All right. I just sent it over to you. And you can just put it in there. But so I leverage the relationships like Kyle Whistle or whoever you guys have in your upline that can just say, look, why don't we talk to somebody that's done it, that can help you and that's really moving successful. Like this guy that I'm recruiting from Keller Williams, he wants to really grow his team, right? And I don't have a team. Even though I'm a team leader, I don't operate a team, but Kyle Whistle does, Curtis Johnson does. Like these guys, if I put him on the phone and these guys will get on a Zoom with him in 2 minutes. Curtis Johnson's making, $500,000 a month in rev share, right? Like who better of a guy to talk to than that? And he came from exactly where we are. So leveraging the relationships with these people is key. And I think that you just got to get them in a room with somebody or get them on the phone. And then really like, what's their alternative? If they want to make a move, where else are they going? I don't know. I mean, some people are looking at Real, but if you look at the comparisons between Real and EXP, it's really not even a comparison. I mean, it's
both Real and LPT both have the option to come in at 100%, right?
Yeah.
So from what I hear, 90% are going that way. So you really can't build a rev share group.
They only, Real only pays you on 5 lines. We pay on 7 lines. Real's got that inverted, funnel system. We have like ours is you get paid. With Real, you get paid more at the top, less at the bottom, or the other way around. They have stock options. We have Real stock. It's totally different.
Yeah.
But again, I just think leveraging the relationships that you have in your upline, or not even in the upline, just in the company in general, everybody's always willing to help,
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you need any help in that, guys, I know a lot of the folks he mentioned as well. And that's a whole nother reason, again, to go to EXPCon in Miami. Meet some of these big hitters face to face. And I guarantee a lot of them say, hey, man, if I can help you, man, reach out to me.
Everybody will.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
everybody
sure.
is so willing to help everybody, guys.
Yeah.
Any other questions, guys? I know this is a unique interview right here. Just Christian, I just want to say congrats, man, bringing your group over. I know that's had to have been phenomenal now that you're settled in and see where this thing is going because you're easily going to get to 2,000, no doubt in my
Yeah.
mind, dude. So
Yeah. Look, I mean, it's, I think at the end of the day, the next 2, 3 years is going to be telling where we are in the industry. And look, I didn't do it just for the rev share, but the rev share is just happening organically, right? Because I'm recruiting, I'm getting my agents here, and then you start to see that rev share check grow every month and every month, and it's good to see. And for agents here, just being an agent, right? The one thing I've learned about recruiting is that the rev share and the stock stuff is secondary. You got to recruit people on what you have and what you're going to give them, and how you're going to provide them with the service. Because at the end of the day, these agents, like I said, 100% of nothing is nothing. They can go get 100% somewhere else if someone's going to give that to them for the first year. But where are they going to be? Are they going to grow? You know what I mean? So your job is to kind of recruit these people on service based. Like, this is what we have to offer you guys. And look at the people in our downline. Look at these other people. Like, you're part of a big organization. It's not just what you have, Sean. It's like what all the XP has.
absolutely, yeah. Yeah, like you see on mine here, Christian, we formed the Freedom Team 3 years ago, and we do now Zooms Monday through Thursday. Tuesday and Wednesday is all about production. Monday, Thursday is all about attraction. So we're trying to create something similar. I mean, you came over the group. We created this group. So everybody, at least I use a ton of Freedom Team because I'm not selling houses. So it's all
Yeah.
about what my group offers. And we got icon agents and all that as well, guys. So take full advantage of that. Any
Yeah.
other questions here for Christian? We don't have to keep him for an hour. I know this is unique. Go ahead, Kelly.
Yeah, I want to go back to the mega icon team that you have, right? Yours is a mega icon team, correct?
Right. Yep.
Okay, so I have an agent that's with me. He's got a team. It's more loosely defined. He's got about 8 members, but he's got a whole bunch of luxury agents up in the Vale area that he wants to bring in. And he is seriously considering going independent so he can just charge him $500 a transaction rather than in the EXP model. And my temptation is to go out and look at that mega icon and say, how about if you structure this way instead? You'll give more value because 500 a transaction on some high volume people is going to be a lot. How would you approach that?
I mean, I think so. There's teams within teams, right? So if I have somebody that's part of my team that wants to have a team within a team, that's one thing. And then I have some agents that I've recruited that brought over, say, 4 or 5 agents. And they just said, you know what, we're not going to do a team. Like, I put them, I'm like, look, you're on say you're 90-10 with me, you're 4,000 90-10, and all the agents you bring over on that same $4,000 cap 90-10. If you want to charge that agent 75-25 and keep the other 15, whatever, do it. That's on you. You know what I mean? Like, in other words, they have separate contracts with their team members, so to speak. So they're all independent with EXP, but then they operate it as like a team, but not a team within a team with EXP. You know what I'm saying? So I think that guy's got to just say, look, I don't know what these agents are getting now, but if he can say to them, if they were coming to me and I said to him, look, bring them over, we'll put them on a 90-10, right? 4,000, I get 10% or whatever they do. If you want to charge them, like I said, 85-15, you keep the other 5%. 10% comes to me, you keep 5%. However, there's a million ways that they can structure it without being a team within a team, So it all depends on their production and what he's looking to. So he wants to charge them just $500 every transaction they do, and that's all he would get, not a piece of anything. I mean, I think he's leaving a lot of money on the table for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. And we have a good luxury brand. EXP's got a great luxury brand and a good, so they can be part of a really good luxury presence within EXP. So.
And Kelly, have you already connected with the people at EXP that are over luxury to try to get them involved?
No, I've connected with Meyer, with this person to kind of just talk about approach with him. Not sure we're going to gain momentum there, but the mega icon was kind of an interesting approach. I hadn't looked at that as potentially an opportunity. He wants to keep their fees down. Well, that's a great way to keep their fees down if his volume is up there.
Yeah, so well, that's the whole thing. Mega Icon team, you have to do, I don't know what it is now, 40 million and
40 million and 175 closed transactions.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know what those people do that are coming over. But again, if so, these people are not with EXP now, right? He's trying to recruit
Well,
them.
he's got a team of 9. So he and 7 others. So there's 8 total there. But then he's got a bunch of people that want to join him once he goes independent. So that's kind of what he's dealing with.
Right, right. Yeah. I mean, he can have so we have an independent contractor agreement between me and my agents, and then he can have another agreement between him and his agents. So when they get that split at the end of the day, they're still getting more than they're getting now, but at least the guy you're talking about is making more money because they're still on a great split. You know, there's different ways to structure it. You can cap them out and whatever. I don't know. So, you know, we can talk about it at a further date if you want to get him on the phone and we can kind of help him, you know, or I can help him.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yep. Absolutely.
Any other questions?
Melvin.
Mike, Scott, any of you guys?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Melvin.
Can you, thanks, Chris, for sharing. You said you have a list of brokerages that you are calling on. What are you saying to get an appointment with the brokerage? Are you meeting with the broker face to face on Zoom? What is your process for that?
So my initial contact with them is that I'll have my marketing team put together a nice text message, and I'll pick out, say, 50 brokerages, right? And I'll put them on a little text campaign, and you know, now the headlines or the subject is a little bit easier. How did you navigate the NAR, or was your you know, how are your agents responding to the NAR? You know, something like that. Call me to discuss what we're doing here. And I invited all these people to the event that we had as well. And, you know, I'd say, you know, maybe 15% of them came, you know, but I'm probably going to land 2 of them because of it, right? Because they realized it's all about getting them, just, you don't want to say too much to them. So, like, again, the NAR just happened at a good time for me in recruiting, because it takes all the liability off of their plate. And that's really all it is. Some of these agents, some of these broker owners, I don't know at all. So when I'm contacting them, they're like, who is this guy, you know? And then I'll just, you know, I'll send them an initial text message the following week. I send them a text message with a video with me and just say, look, I made the move 3 years ago from Remax to here, you know, moved the big brokerage over here. And I can tell you this little place I'd rather be. Just call me to discuss or whatever. And then after a little bit, they'll warm up to you, you know, and they call you, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. And even agents, if I recruited, you know, I recruited a big agent from a pretty big organization last year. And this agent was big, and it was their best agent. And I told that agent, I'm like, look, he's like, oh man, Phil's going to be pissed. Phil was his broker, and Phil's going to be pissed or whatever. And I was like, I mean, look, I don't know what to tell you. I said, but your incentive is to get Phil. Now you go after Phil. Like, hey, Phil, look, I'm coming over here, but this is what you can have. Now that agent's got incentive to get Phil, because if that agent comes over, puts Phil underneath him, and now that agent has got all Phil and his whole organization over here. So she's working on him now to get him over here, because now she's been here for a year and she loves it. And he just lost 3 other agents. So once they start feeling that a little bit, then they're like, listen, it's either get on the train or miss the train, right? Like, they really start feeling, because they're nowhere without their agents, but it's going to become harder and harder and harder for people to keep their agents and make money. And a lot of these people have agents like brick and mortar that they're paying rent for. It's like, and they're not getting money. It's like, oh my God, I got to put this guy on a 95.5. I got to pay. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not making any money. What am I doing? You know? So, recruiting some of their big agents is also another way to try and get them over.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff, Christian. Thank you, brother. Anybody got any other final questions here for Christian?
Yeah, Christian, and again, thank you for this. This is so helpful. When you were spotting agents or brokers that might necessarily not know that they want to be in revenue share, what are you seeing in them that then bridging them to where they can step into that? Is there something you spot?
You mean as far as them being like recruiting?
Yeah.
I mean, again, I don't spend a lot of time going over it with them. Like it's not part of my recruiting thing. It is and it isn't. But what I've done was I've done video testimonials with some of my agents in my office, and I have my marketing team put that out there on social media or on my page or whatever. But I mean, again, it doesn't seem like a lot, but just through natural relationships, like I said, the one agent in my office recruited 6 or 7 people, and she's getting a check for $600 a month. Who wouldn't love that, right? For doing nothing. Basically, she introduced 6 people to me, and I recruited them for her, and now she's getting $600 a month, right? It's just that people. I feel like if I was able to take my 500 people in my organization and teach at least 100 of them how to recruit, or how to, like, what it really means to recruit, my business would grow tremendously, right? Because now I got everybody recruiting for me. People don't understand the power of the rev share. They just don't get it, And again, it doesn't matter. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be a recruiter. Just give them the Sean, or give them to somebody in your organization and say, hey man, I have great friends with this agent. They do great business. He wants a 15-minute call. I send Sean my recruiting packet. I send it to people to take a look at. And then I just get them over. And then again, it's good money down the road for people that are, like I said, ancillary, it's just other income coming in that just hits your bank account every month,
Good. All right. Anybody else?
Yeah. Hi, Christian. Oh,
Hey.
go ahead.
Hi, Kate.
Oh, hey. Quick question. You mentioned a marketing team, transaction coordinator. What kinds of things do you give to your agents as like incentive outside of EXP?
So again, I have a title company that I own as well. I've owned it for 7, 8 years now. I have my title girls right in my office. So when they come over, they get full use of my office 24/7. They get a code to come in. I have a really nice office. I have a little lounge area, whatever. They're not paying anything extra for that. Again, I have real-time transaction coordinators. I think we have 4 now. I have them with my other partners, but they're all in an office we have in South Jersey. So they're not overseas. They're real-time people. And it helps them. They'll write the deals for them. They'll upload everything into SkySlope. They do all that stuff. And because my team is big, I can afford to offset that expense. I'm like, look, just maybe use our title company, and that helps me offset the expense. But people love it because they don't have to worry about doing all the deals and writing all the deals. They can use them for as little as they want or as much as they want. They'll do the deal from beginning to end. They don't input listings, but they do a lot of stuff for them. And then they have, we have trainings all the time. Like I have a Zoom every Tuesday from 10 to 11. And you guys are more than welcome to come on. I'll share it with the Zoom link. It's training Zooms on how to market yourself. It could be anything. How to go on a listing appointment, how to market yourself, how to brand yourself. Whatever it is, it's kind of open. Sometimes we'll have 50 people on. Sometimes we'll have 200 people on. Sometimes we'll have 20. It's kind of like this, right? But we're just giving knowledge on stuff out there. So there's a lot of training. My whole goal is to try and help you guys go from wherever you are to double your business, triple your business again, right? Because the better you do, the better I do, and whatever. So,
does your office offer any lead gen something?
That's one thing I don't do. I did it in the past before I came over here, but the problem I found was when I came over here was I was spending a lot of money on Zillow and all that stuff. And at the time, $10,000 a month on Zillow to get buyers when inventory was so low didn't make sense for me, right? So Joe Oz is the guy that I told you that brought me over here. He's part of my upline, and what I do offer now is that Joe is part of the Zillow Flex program, and he's on the advisory board for Zillow. So I'll say to Joe, look, I have an agent that all they want is leads. I'm going to recruit them. I'm going to get the rev share. I'm going to give them off to you, and you take them and do the Zillow. Give them all the leads they want. You just take them, right? When they, in a year from now, if they don't want to be on your team anymore because they're sick of paying you and now they're really good and they want to come back to me, they can come back to me. So you kind of keep them in the organization, So I try to partnered up with him in doing that, because people do want leads, but again, if I'm doing numbers, it was really hard to spend all that money to get all these buyer leads when inventory is so light. It's like, I couldn't fathom it, So
Right.
yeah, so it's tough.
Okay, and then this packet you're talking about, is it an actual paper packet?
Yeah, so I have one that's a paper packet, and I also have it that's called Flipbook, which I just texted it to Sean, and then Sean can share it with you guys, and then you can kind of thumb through it. It just tells you about me, about the real estate leaders, kind of about EXP. It's just a good little packet to show somebody. Just say, hey, look, take a look at this. Call me with any questions. It's all legit. Like, because people, when I tell them, they don't really realize. They're like, oh my God, EXP, cloud brokerage. You're in the cloud and this and that. I'm like, look, I have an office. Yeah, you can go in the cloud if you want. I've never been. I was on EXP World once when I joined here. I've never been on it again, right? So I'm like, we have brick and mortar. We have real people you talk to, and there's none of that. The fees are nothing. They all have this whole thing. Oh my God, what are the fees? Like, if people just don't know, you know what I mean? So it's our job, and I think social media too. Like, people got to get out there. You guys, if you want a recruiter, just explain about it. Just get out there, take a video of yourself, and just be like, I've been at EXP. And it's been nothing but great, especially through this whole NAR stuff. They've been really awesome with us. People will start to resonate and listen to you like, wow, that's pretty good, because they don't know what they don't know, right? So,
and real quick, I'm going to put a plug in. I know you haven't been on there, Christian, but I'll tell you what, the new virtual 2.0.
oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I heard.
You're on in 10 seconds.
Yeah,
that whole minute and a half waiting.
my admin does it. Yeah, she said it's great. It's like instant.
Yeah,
a lot of my
really
agents,
amazing.
yeah, it's really
guys,
cool.
I've been bringing my last couple agents just joined. I will bring them into the virtual campus and have them connect with a broker right there.
It's great.
The brokers are selling.
Yep.
I mean, they're helping bring them on, and they're blown away that they can connect that quickly to a broker. And all these brokers start to tell their reason of why they came over and how incredible this brokerage is. A lot of them have 20 years experience, and they're going crazy about what EXP is all about right out of the broker's mouth to the agent. So definitely utilize all this, you guys.
Yep. Absolutely.
Cool. We got just a few more minutes. Anybody, any other questions? Nada? We good? Man, Christian.
Hi, Christian. Thank you for sharing. This has been really insightful. You have a different way of doing it. I want to ask, I heard the part that you just shared with Katie about how you retain some of your agents locally, but if they're not local, how do you retain them? Because you have a very high retention level.
Yeah, I mean, so if they're not local, meaning if I recruited somebody in, say, Florida or something like that, right? I mean, it's you can only do what you can do, right? So it's not like I have an office here that I'm showing them or whatever. Most of those people are really independent. My recruiting is really focused heavily on the area that I'm in, because that's where I can service the people. If they're not in my area and they're, say, in Florida and I'm in Jersey, I find somebody in Florida that's within EXP, or turn them on to somebody that's in EXP, that if they have questions about something there, that they can go to, right? That's the power of EXP. We're everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, so they can find answers to questions everywhere. I just have to find the right person in that state. I don't have too many people that are outside the state, not in my area, that are on my team, but that's the way most people do it.
Yeah. And Samantha, I would, obviously plug them into as much Freedom Team and stuff as you can. Help them connect on the workplace groups that pertain to what they're interested in. Introduce them to one or two brokers in their market. Let them just realize, oh my gosh, the support I have, the camaraderie. And for those that haven't been jumping on our Wednesday Connect to Collaborate, just a great place also to bring any new agents, introduce them to the group, let them just kind of see how everybody's pouring into everybody. Because guys, when people start to, the agents that we're bringing on that Connect to Collaborate, when we have a good conversation going and I connect with them afterwards, they're like, you guys do this every single week. I can come and ask anything I want. A lot of them are blown away. That's not there in most other brokerages, and they don't get together like that every single week. So take advantage of all that and just let your agent feel there's so many people. Introduce them to some of the founders, introduce them to people on here, and let them realize, look, hey, call anytime. We're all here to help you. And a lot of people are blown away by that.
Yeah. Yep. Support is everything, right?
Got it. Yeah. So anybody, any other questions? Nada? Man, we will wrap up again. Christian, congrats, dude, on your success. And guys, I'll share what he sent over. I'll put that on our workplace for those who want to grab it. And obviously you can take some of that and put together your own and so forth. But Man, Christian, once I get the recording later today or tomorrow, I'll send that over to you if you want to break it into some shorts or whatever you want to do with it. But
Awesome.
man,
Yeah, sounds good, guys. It was a
your
pleasure. Any questions anytime, just call.
That is awesome, man. Thank you so much, man. We
My
sincerely
pleasure.
appreciate it. Everybody wrap up a great day and hopefully catch everybody tomorrow morning, AI and YouTube with Andy Hollis. Don't miss it. The guy's crushing. I think he's at 15 million in only, what, 20 months using YouTube? And that's the only thing the guy does, and he's beginning to blow it up. If you haven't seen it, jump in tomorrow. Thank you so much, guys. Everybody
Bye,
have a
guys.
good day.
Thank you. Thanks,
Care.
Chris.
Take care.